Nah, it's on. Too late.
All right.
Hey guys, how you doing? It's Eric Beard. This is my buddy Todd Ford. Move over, Todd.
Get me out of the screen.
He's a camera hog. Let's stay in the screen. Let's flip. And I just want to do a short video with Todd. Todd's a physical therapist that I've gotten lots of treatment from. Obviously not enough if you've seen any of my goniometric measurements. But we do a lot of co-treating together. We work down the hall from each other. And we were just having a nice little lunchtime talk the other day about what's wrong with most people, and not like, spiritually or globally what's wrong, but what the source of most dysfunction is. It's pretty interesting. So, we were talking about what it oftentimes boils down to is kind of the most common thing that we see. And yes, there's traumatic injuries and specific pathologies, but it was we kind of narrowed it down to one thing. I was really surprised about what we both came up with.
Yeah, it's always difficult to figure out what patient population you're talking with. And what we're talking about is the person who's had this problem that just bubbles up out of the blue, whether it's a shoulder problem or a back problem, no clear trauma, they haven't had surgery or anything like that. It ended up being that the root cause was invariably some stiffness somewhere, some loss of range of motion somewhere in the joint that was causing this pathomechanical chain that ultimately ended up in a symptom. So really what we were looking at was a limit somewhere, not necessarily where the problem was, but we were looking at a limit somewhere in somebody's range of motion.
I mean, it's what it comes down to is tightness. Whether it's a joint restriction or, there's a lot of other things that can lead up to that, like Todd said, but it was pretty amazing. So when we talk about self-myofascial release and stretching and kind of the recommended dosage for flexibility on a regular basis, we see what an important part of that is as far as a prehabilitation or post-rehabilitation program goes. I mean, if that's something that with someone that Todd, with his breadth and depth of experience, is kind of seeing, and I think as a trainer, corrective exercise specialist, I mean, how many times have you seen when someone's overhead squat where their feet turn out or their knees move in and their calves are just so tight? Might not be this. That might not be their symptom of what's going on for them, but it kind of boils down to it. So it was kind of one of those big talks that ended up with, boom, well, just everyone's tight. And I guess we already kind of knew that. It wasn't this revelation, but to talk with someone of Todd's credentials and experience to kind of find that that's a shared issue was pretty cool for me to see.
And when we're talking about, Eric and I are always talking about ways to bring our staffs closer together. I run a physical therapy facility. Eric runs a whole staff full of personal trainers. We end up seeing a lot of the same things. Well, one of the good ways that we have found to get our trainers being better trainers was to get them better and more precise about looking at and for these range of motion problems.
That's a biggie, and once you find you can do something about it. But just a short video, not earth-shattering. Everyone's tight, we know it. But don't get so confused about what's causing it. Just remember what's there, and then we can always do something about it. So thanks for your time, Todd.
Thanks.
Have a good weekend, guys. Thanks for watching.